Hey everyone, this is the Nips and Sips podcast show featuring me. I'm Dr. Jeremy Boyd and my usual partner in crime over there, Dr. Brandon Cruz. And today we're also having a little guest down there. Oh shoot, Goosey man, Goosey, Goose.
There it is.
So he's gonna be down here. So if you see me looking around for the live people, it's probably because he's doing something knuckleheaded-ish. But today we're gonna be talking about establishing culture in the workplace and how important that really is. It really can make a team grow. The patients can feed off of it. But I think it's super important to do that. But before I get too much into it, Brandon, how's it going?
Doing well. Having the pleasure of mentoring a fellow from Regis. He actually hails all the way from Hawaii. So he's staying up here for 2 weeks. He's also doing some stuff with the APTA at the national level. In the office today, I had a beer here too. I don't know, was it Harpoon and Dunkin' Donuts teamed up, and they had this maple cream one, and stupid me brought it home last night, and now I had a rush for a drink today, and well, I don't know, for whatever reason I had a bottle of rum in the freezer in the office, so I'll be sipping on some good old Bacardi Gold tonight.
Oh, Gold.
That's my drink there.
Gold is like this, like the standard,
it's
right?
gold.
It's like silver or gold, and then they have like the baby.
There it is.
Oh, yummy. Well,
so yeah,
in my case,
what we have in the office. That was either that or Casamigos, and was in the freezer as well. I don't know why these things are in the freezer, but anyway, they are.
Tequila.
That's how we have. That's why we roll in the office.
Yeah, you guys go hard up there. Ours is just beer, and then some kid recently, Hunter, excellent shadower. Like I'm excited to see him like keep going in the profession. Hopefully, he gets into PT school and stuff. But for whatever reason, I don't know if we had a monster or whatever. He came in with probably like 10 to 15 monsters for us. So our fridge, you can't even get food in it anymore. It's just monsters and beers. That's it.
Oh God, monsters are awful.
Yeah, so
at least have it be Red Bull, man.
Huh?
Frick. I said at least have it be Red Bull.
No, we're a monster group. Cam, so when we're having some beers or whatever, Cam hits the monsters, or if he really needs to go to town on like the phone or anything like that, he starts ripping them. So I prefer the beer instead. But for me, today, double feature special. I'm gonna drink Tits Up, which is given by my boy Justin over there. Thank you, Justin. He gave it to us for our Friendsgiving, which is kind of funny because during our course this weekend, I had I don't even know what moment I had, but I was slipping. Instead of saying the Texas twist, I was saying the Teddy twist, which
sounded like the titty twist.
Titty twist, because I'm not the best speaker at times, but yeah, Teddy. Everyone kept saying titty twist afterwards, so hopefully that helps people remember, because you're not gonna really remember Texas twist. You're gonna remember titty twist, and great beer. So hopefully I'm gonna test this out. This is actually a brew, especially for the ladies out there. I'll say a little piece here. It's by DuClaw Brewing, which is in Baltimore. This brew is for every time you spoke up and stood your ground, because when life gets tough, you said tits up and you got going. So cheers to the ladies out there. This is a New England style IPA. So I'm excited about that. This will be drink out of my Deep Breaths and Big Sips cup that was recently given by my last student, Kayla Parsons, now Dr. Parsons. So this is good for Nips and Sips. Deep breaths, especially when I'm starting to say tits instead of Texas. So good times.
Talking about fetuses.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe we can have an episode on most embarrassing things said during the teaching. All right, this is a little bit more of a darker New England IPA. Let me let that settle for a second. Oh, it smells great. This reminds me of when I was brewing beer and I was letting it kind of ferment in my bathroom. This smells exactly like that. So this is homey.
Ferment in your bathroom. Wow. That's what you had
Yeah,
to
I
do.
didn't really have a good spot for it, so the bathroom was it. So it's best my bathroom's ever smelled.
You have a
Just put it in a tub.
bathroom, what, the bathroom downstairs when you first walk in? Is that where you're going? Or you gotta use
No, the one upstairs. But
the guest
the one,
bathroom? The
huh?
guest bathroom? The guest
The
bathroom?
guest bathroom. Yep.
All right,
Oh,
what's
there's still a
got a little
price tag
sticker
on this.
there?
I'm gonna give this a.
Christine.
This is delicious. Perfect temperature. I'm not usually give high scores for New England IPA. This is pretty good. I'm gonna give it 8 flat. This is solid actually. Let me get this sticker off though. All right. Well, 8.0 for DuClaw Brewing, which is one of the breweries I really want to go
You've been
to.
nice with your gradings lately.
I mean,
Last
it's
above
a
an 8.
holiday.
The holiday.
Holiday mood. I'm coming more jolly. Kind of shedding off the scary Jerry. So that, and any breweries that want to sponsor us, feel free to. I'll give higher ratings. No, you know what? You can't buy my ratings.
Well, I like the integrity there, but we should still get Axe and Arrow to I mean, they're right, 3 steps from your door. So we need to get them on par. And maybe we'll try and get Hoboken Brewing on
there we go.
Show as well.
The logos, places, and stuff like that. I need a better background, I think. And get a bunch of breweries. I hope they released they had some aged I don't know if I had the rating system back then, but they had some aged stuff, and that was some really good stuff. I'll have to check my special fridge to see if I have any left. But, all right. Well, I guess we can get right into the show.
Let's jump into this show. Enough keeping our audience waiting here. Culture in the workplace. I don't know. You want to take this out, Jerry? I mean, I think I look at you. I will say, I mean, you're always commending me and everything. I'm going to point to this one. I think you've done a phenomenal job with Trifecta. I mean, you guys are always throwing up the gang sign logo. You guys have fun with it. You guys have fun at work. I see, obviously I see it on Instagram, and then obviously when we go down for courses and stuff, I see it. And I'm like, we need to do a better job. Like, I feel like you push me in a good way. Sometimes I'm, too serious or too focused on all the things I'm doing with the CE company. Obviously you assist me with that, and the offices and everything. But you do it right, man. You maintain that fun spirit, and people gravitate towards it, and then the patients and customers feed off of it, and you've really developed a nice culture in your 4 years of practice, which congratulations. Also, I don't know if we've mentioned this, Jeremy just passed his 4-year anniversary mark, so big ups to Trifecta, Jeremy, Mrs. Boyd, and the team over there. But yeah, Jerry, I think you've done a great job, and I guess maybe talk about what's maybe inspired you or made you have this belief to create the culture you have, and then I'll share my snippets as well.
Yeah, I also think the same of you, and seeing your culture and your team and everything like that, and they seem to be all having a great time and extraordinarily passionate individuals, and they seem like they all get together for courses, share a house, have a blast. Those things are important.
I just think I have a bunch of degenerates, but yeah,
that's all right.
I mean that in a good way, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, they follow the leaders, I guess.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I mean, I've hired. I guess at least me and Justin like to put it down. Cam obviously doesn't. We've talked about that. And Tara, we'll see. I think there's a side to Tara. She's gonna listen in and be like, "What the hell?" Yeah, she did go to Penn State, so there's a side to her that we're waiting to see come out. So this is on national podcasting, Tara. We want to see Penn State Tara come out, but I guess it all began. It kind of started all with to be honest with you, my clinical affils. I am been labeled an introvert by some of my professors back in school, especially in the classroom, which was mostly based. Huh?
I don't see it.
Oh yeah, I kind of
You're
see it. I
you're
definitely
more
do.
and you're more extroverted than I am, I think.
A time. Oh, it took some. Yeah, it took some time to get that, but especially in like the teaching realm, or I mean, the learn well, teaching and learning and that sort of stuff. But I always like to absorb. Like, what am I gonna, put my 2 cents in when I'm, just learning all this sort of stuff. So especially in the classroom and everything like that, just always, kind of just be quiet, raise my hand if I needed to, such and so forth. So a lot of people didn't really hear me. Um, Unless I was leading like a class, I was a class representative, I had to do a meeting or something of that nature. But other than that, um, same went for when I was out on my affiliations. Was I would go, I see how it teach me things. I would kind of do by the book, by what they said, and it led to me being extraordinarily rigid in a sense of, I wasn't my normal self, like what I'd be outside and about with my friends and such and so forth, because I didn't, it's their businesses or their reputation was on the line. But
Mhm.
um, I would, slightly kind of uncoil that rigidness and ultra professionalism at each affiliation, but it would never like hit its full peak till like my last week or two. And every single one of them in all of my three affils were like, where was this side of you beforehand? And they all like appreciated it. They're like, yeah, well, I wish you were like this the whole time. I'm like, I was learning such and so forth. Um, and you think it by the third one, you learn, just start off with that. But even when I started my career, it wasn't until like Tom, who's been on the show, kind of said, be you, be your person. If it's, quirky, having fun, doing weird things in the clinic, so be it. You'll know the balance kind of between, professional doctor mode and, have a good time mode. And so one of the amazing perks of having your own business and being your own boss is you have no one to essentially look down on you if you're being a goofball. Because there was times where I was in the clinic and the owners were like, what the heck's Jeremy doing? So there's no one to answer when you have your own place. And that was one of my big things. I wanted to do things my way. I wanted to play, EDM and rap music and that sort of stuff in the clinic. I wanted to, get involved and do some of the exercises. I wanted to yell at the top of my, lungs while I'm thrusting a ball at my co-worker. Props to Pursue and Brandon for a great challenge on that. We got to respond with the peck challenge for this week, so stay tuned for that. So there, that was it. I was just gonna be me, and it was, especially when I was starting off, it was just me. So I was like, I'm just gonna be myself. And then people gravitated towards that. People weren't shied away. I mean, obviously, when I was first meeting a patient and that sort of stuff, the evals, I was professional. I'm Dr. Boyd. I've always done that. And then, to add to that comforting environment, let's face it, PT sucks for somebody. They're in pain. They're usually out of the things that they would love to do, whether it's sports, work, any of that. And now you're taking and making this medical environment. We already know about like white coat syndrome and all that sort of stuff. And it's, doesn't become fun from, doesn't become engaging from. They're not going to want to stick to things. So if I keep it comfortable, relaxed, what music do you want to listen to? Crack jokes, be motivating, and they're pushing a sled and I'm yelling at them. That's going to help them keep going. It's going to help them, when they talk to their friends and they're like, oh, where are you going for PT? They're like, oh, I'm going to this place. And, they start talking and they're like, well, that's a very different experience. So that's kind of how it all came to be. And then luckily, with my employees, I can all see the culture that we kind of established in them. They added to it. Everybody, for the most part, we've had a taste tester of them before they became an employee. And I can see them just adding to the culture, or they did, or they added their own spin to it. So that's, huge is, having those people that will, continue it. So again, I'm not in the clinic as much, or I'm between two clinics, such and so forth, but I know the same type of energy and environment's going to be there. And, it's all for the betterment of the patients and, the staff. So they're engaged. But yeah, I guess that's it in a nutshell for me there. Brandon, I know you share similar things and some fun stuff.
Yeah. Similar things, similar path. I remember having 2 internships where it was very stuffy. Had to wear some pants, a button down, a tie. Couldn't talk about how to be mindful about talking about sports.
Oh,
couldn't talk politics because sports is like politics. Like people have their teams or their players, and God forbid you have a debate about it, a friendly debate, right? So I remember that one. I guess my strong personality that I've been told I have, kind of shined out, and I would still talk about the stuff I wasn't supposed to talk about. And luckily my CI really never called me out. I mean, I always saw him watching me, and but I never felt comfortable. I was like, I have to mind everything I'm saying. Then I came out, and it's like, well, we have a doctor, we have to be a doctor, so you have to present yourself and carry yourself a certain way. And I remember still wearing, like, I didn't wear a button down, but I'd still wear like a collared shirt and dress pants, and sometimes I'd wear a button down. I never wear a tie.
I wear a button down.
I used to wear a button down, not a tie. I apologize. And dress shoes, and but like I like to goof around. I like to work hard, play hard. Like I wanted to play music. I remember I ended up always taking at my other job control of the radio. I was like, I don't want to listen to, I don't know, fucking John Denver or something.
Classic
I don't know.
light rock.
Yeah, just like soft ass shit. I was like, I want to EDM. I want some rap. I want whatever. I remember I have the old job. I'd make salsa Saturdays. I'd be the only clinician on Saturdays. Merengue Mondays. We'd have boy band Fridays. Like I don't know, like 80s Tuesdays. Like we try and just have. And that was my own job. I actually don't do that anymore. Maybe I should. Now we just kind of play a bunch of whatever we're in the mood for.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you have your own clinic and it's just you in the beginning, and you're working 10, 12, 14, 16-hour day, like you want to have fun. So or you want to have a relaxed environment. I have a couch in my office. I have a TV in my office. Like sports are playing. I now have a golf simulator. Like I was like, if I have to be here for 16 hours a day, I want to enjoy it. So a lot of that I built for me, and then patients saw it and they like the vibe, or they like the energy, they like the building, they like the light. Like, so then, you start kind of paying attention to it more, and well, how do I add on to this? And then, it becomes like a service thing, like you said. And we are providing a service. But and then you start taking interns, and your staff starts growing over the years. And I guess my real only thing is you have to operate at a clinical level, at a high level. That I think that's my only thing I don't really break on. So there I'm a hard ass. There I'm I expect and demand a lot, because not only if I can do it, and I'm not in any way the smartest person in the room, things take work for me. But if I was able to put time in, there's no reason why you should be able to put time in, especially when you have a resource in front of you who's done it and can expedite your curve. So other than that, I try and have the mindset or philosophy, and I've had to grow over the years, of I try and treat all my employees the same by treating them differently. They all have their own personalities. So I want to be able to foster that and grow that, and not limit that. So letting them, for the most part, obviously everything's within some sort of reason, but for the most part, kind of be you. And now the next part, as we're growing and we take, interns and residents come through and fellows come through. Now that you have a couple people and there's a culture that's naturally kind of forming, it's, oh, we like this person. Oh, they get it. Oh, they fit with us. So now it's hiring people. I could teach you how to manip somebody or whatever. I want somebody I can go have a beer with, or in my case, a stiff drink of vodka Red Bull, someone I can go ham with. You work, long days at the clinic. It can be stressful. You want to have fun. You want to be people, or be around people that are like-minded. here we're sarcastic and cynical. We have the work hard, play hard mindset. But we get up early in the morning, and so I was talking about culture. We're establishing a culture that's happened over the past, well, we started about a year ago, but it's really taken hold the past like 4 months, 5 months. We get up early. We get here at 5:30, 5:45. We work out for about an hour or so, and then we start our day. Does it suck, especially in the cold and winter, getting up early? It's dark, it's freezing. But we're getting team bonding in. We get to talk about a case or an article or just shoot the shit. It's just a bonding time. So now things are starting to snowball, and now people from the outside are seeing how close we are, and the culture that we have, the friendliness, the genuine friends that we have in the clinic, and now I think that's just awesome. You have books like Culture Code, which I read, that adds some value. I'm a big Simon Sinek guy. Leaders eat last, and start with why. So trying to hire people with similar whys. Obviously we teach and we promote growth, not only clinically but personally. So trying to develop and develop leaders as well, not just directors. I think there's too much, I want to be a manager, I want to be a director. What does that mean? If you're a manager director, you have to lead. So you need to be a leader. I don't care that you've been here 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That doesn't make, just because you've had the time in doesn't mean necessarily you get elevated to the front. What other things have you done? Have you tried to grow the culture? Do you put other people first? Do you do the little things to make this place run better, so it's not all on myself, and I'm sure you the same way at your business? So I think it's that, and I think in growing our culture, something that you and I do that a lot of other clinics don't do, we take interns and we put a lot of time and effort into them. And, you grow relationships over 12, 16 weeks. And if there's a fit, it's, hey, come and work with us. And, guess what? That learning curve now, that initial 3 to 6 months that you typically have to train somebody and they have to get their feet wet, is done because they've been in your environment already and people know them. So now you don't have to spend the first like 6 weeks or 6 months feeling each other out, seeing if it's going to work, and then losing a person because you've already vetted them and kind of what works and stuff. So I think there's an added bonus silver lining that I didn't realize initially when I was taking interns, but now that I do, it kind of becomes for lack of a better term, I don't mean this in a negative way, it comes like a farm system. You get to groom people, you get to grow them and cultivate them, and then if things work out, you get to hire them. And now that culture is organic and you don't have to force things.
Sorry, I had to mute it because of Goose. But no, that's
chirping a little bit.
Huh?
All right, Goose, keep it down. I said Goose was chirping a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's been relieved of his duties. Thank you. No, I think it form system's got a kind of a bad connotation, but it's a awesome form system. If you're like telling me, oh, you're about to get drafted and be put in the Yankees farm system, yeah, most people will be pretty excited about that. And if you're in an environment where you're around great clinicians and great people, you're going to grow. You can take anybody, you can make them grow. Ideally, it's someone who's motivated, intrinsically self-motivated to grow even faster and more so, and you don't have to push them and give them assignments and that sort of stuff. That's what we look for. We do, I know Brandon and we both do some serious vetting of our students, assignment like tests and interviews and whatnot. It's the idea to, again, it's always long-term picture. I want someone that if I'm going to invest the time to train you, then I hope to maybe hire you if we continue to grow and such and so forth.
Yeah.
it's for students out there, you think it's like, oh yeah, I'm treating their people, doing their notes. I mean, when we're by ourselves, we're automatic. I mean, it's been a while since I've been by myself, but I had a day where my student was away, and I banged out all my notes, had a great clinical day. I've been doing it like starting up the other office. I've had like some of my best evals and stuff like that, but I want to pass off as much as I can to the next generation. So that's what we look for, but we want people who are motivated, and we want to set them up in that right environment. And again, to help the culture and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun for me too. It's just like, yeah, the culture may be that breeding ground, but then watch you grow into your own little thing. Like Tara at my clinic, she does some stuff every time. I think there's probably once per day I'm like, what you doing over there? Like I'll just awkwardly like walk over and watch what they're doing.
Mm.
And it's something creative, something different, whether it's mobilization or exercise. It's something, and it's like cool. It's like, would that have happened in a different place? Maybe, probably not. I know it's in different situations, and even I caught myself doing the same things verbatim over and over and over and over. So it's cool. I think that's something that should be looked for in most places. Are people doing the same thing? Is it free flowing? Is people being themselves? Because you never. I don't think you really hit your clinical excellence unless you truly are yourself. And that's just me personally. I think people feed off of it. And if you're so robotic, I know some great advice that Brandon has given, especially in regards to evaluations. There's a lot of people, students, myself at one point was, you do your evaluations and it's like, ask this question, ask this question, ask this question, ask this question. And you're so like programmed and robotic about the questions that you need to ask that you're not keeping a free flowing conversation. It takes away the therapeutic alliance and the thought that the patient thinks that you actually care about them. And then you're actually probably missing out on some good conversation that would happen if you kept it more casual amongst, a peer versus, this is a patient, I need to ask XYZ. I mean, ask your XYZ, but let the conversation just kind of develop that way versus I got to do this. I've had some students where it's like, the patients were leading them onto something. They almost essentially stopped the conversation to get to one of the questions they needed to ask. So, again, in that case, clinical excellence couldn't be achieved because they cut them off or, it was too rigid. And the same thing for like a person working throughout the day. You want to be yourself. I think it's something, and then something that's really good is being able to adapt to who you're working with and who you're working around. So there's times where, I'm working with a little kid, I got to be playful, goofy, and all that sort of stuff and engaging. I can work with the, 30, 40-year-old contract workers that got a sailor for a sailor style mouth and dropping F-bombs. I got to drop some F-bombs with them and they can relax a little bit more. And then my next patient right next to them is, a mother of 3 or 4, and I got to be classy and that sort of stuff. So, all these sort of things really kind of help develop a really awesome environment. And I think that fosters growth. You think about that as like, players on, good teams led by good coaches versus ones that are like toxic in nature that are, not allowing people to grow and, beating them down and using, runs for punishments all the time. Some people thrive in those environments. Most don't though. So I want to make sure everybody in the culture and the environment, thrives.
Well, also off that, relating to sports, and I was having this conversation, it's the end of the year, you do like reviews and recaps with the employees, and kind of like I mean, we have it here naturally already because of the model, whatever.
The what?
The model.
Oh, the model.
I've
Okay.
developed, where like it should be self-regulating, like, and we're getting to a point where other people are regulating each other, like, a senior intern is onboarding a newer intern. A
Yes.
senior intern is saying, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and grooming that. So, they're paying it forward. It's just a constant paying forward. I taught so and so teaches someone else, that person teaches someone else. And it's like the team captain, right? The captain of a team is supposed to be an extension of the coach and kind of keep things in order. And if a player is slacking, that coach or the captain's supposed to say, hey, get your shit together before coach makes us go run, right? Before coach comes down, you don't want coach to come. So not to say it's a dictator or authoritarianship, but I find that the staff, as we grow, is they're all trying to help each other out. Hey, things are supposed to be done this way, or do it this way, or why are you doing it that way? So there's some, self-regulated checks and balances, which I only think can happen in a strong culture or a strong team. And the tricky part is, as you grow, how much of that you can keep. And I think it staying to your roots, staying kind of grounded in what you believe in, and not trying to deviate, bend, not break, maybe. I think another thing you and I do well, and I don't know if we picked it up, if this was just us naturally. I would say we picked it up with residency, maybe a little bit, is outings. Like, I'm not saying like team building exercises and outings are like always going to work, because they're not, right? They're no trust falls, right? They're not always going to work, but like generally, going out and spending a little bit of time to getting to know, inviting people. Like when we have a birthday party, everybody's invited. There's an inclusivity aspect, like, and I know when we go out for our courses, Saturday, it's like, hey guys, bars right down the road, or brewery, we're gonna go have some drinks, get some food. Whoever's welcome to come can come, we'll talk, whatever. Some people say, come along and love it, and some people, run home and do their thing, and that's fine too. But I think that's where that bond and relationship is built. And while we did it in residency, I was the one sending out the emails, hey class, let's go together. And what, you and Cheryl were the ones that came, so we developed our bond. But I think the cool thing was, we were like, hey, Bill, Scott, come out. I didn't think they were going to come out at first, but they came out, and they didn't stay out all night, but they had a drink or two. We got to talk to them. We got to see them in a setting outside. And I think it was like, for me, that was like, wow, like I'm drinking with my teachers. I'm drinking with people I'm looking up to. That never happened K through 8. That didn't happen, K through or through 12. That didn't happen in college, right? That didn't even happen in my PT school. Like, you weren't going out to drink with your faculty. Like, that was a line. And I think that line or that stigma was kind of broken. And it's like, oh, it can be done. You can still joke around with your employees. You can still, have fun with them and let loose around them. And then when work comes to play, that role shifts again. It doesn't always have to be I'm your superior. I've had some employees get probably a little too drunk around me. It is what it is. That's what you sign up for when you go out. Do they get heckled and stuff? Sure. But that's the fun of it. You're be yourself. And let's face it, we've all had too much at some point or another in our life.
I mean, how my own Friendsgiving, I took a small nap. Nothing too big, but it shows that you're human.
Passed out.
Yeah, it shows.
We had a joke about it, but it's all good.
In my own house, got a little excited and that sort of stuff, and I've been tired a little bit. Just a small little nap, but I think it shows, that we're peers, we're humans. We want, we're in your shoes 8 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 6 years ago. We want to make sure you're having a good time, and you don't have to be, this is my boss and that sort of stuff. And I gotta do XYZ, be professional. We want the good work-life balance. Is work-life balance, there's a lot of debate about that. Is it hours worked or anything like that. No, I think it's more, I don't even think you really need to have like per hour sort of thing. If you love what you do and you're able to be you, you can work as much as you want, but you should always do stuff for your personal life as well. And that includes like going out, and it's like going out, like building off what Brandon said, it's not like a chore. Like my mom used to say it, like with her work, and then for other PTs, like I have to do this workouting thing. It's like a chore, that sort of stuff. Versus like you're legitimately excited, and that's something I hear in my office a lot, is like the trying to set up the next one, or like the people talking about the one that's coming up on Friday or something like that, whether it's rock climbing breweries, all that sort of stuff. So that's always nice to hear and see. And just that inclusiveness, everybody's getting invited, versus there's been times and situations where we didn't want the bosses to go out, so like the young people would go out, and regardless of age, as long as it's a good fun environment, everyone should be included, and everybody should want everyone included. So yeah, I think those are some good points there, Brandon. And then
let me I'm just gonna go to my phone here and look at some books, and not to say, I think a lot of what we said went beyond books, but if you're a new clinician, I think some of Simon Sinek's work is phenomenal. Start with why, and Leaders Eat Last. Go on YouTube, just type in his name. He has a bunch of stuff, speeches and talks that he does that's on there. I think those are great. Just trying to look at my library, what I've read. I talked about the Culture Code, was a good one as well. Let's see what else here I have in terms of like office stuff. But I think those are probably the big three. Oh, building. I think you mentioned it before in an indirect way, and there's like that building your story brand.
Yeah,
part of that goes to marketing.
Yeah.
Right. But outside from marketing, like when people come in, you're still marketing. They're gonna go and like you said, tell stories and talk. So you want that, like that culture within the four walls, that dynamic experience, as well. So you're building your story kind of within, like your clinic takes on the identity of you, basically. So I think probably taking that concept and moving it forward. I have some other ones I haven't read yet, like Onward, which is like on Starbucks. I think that's supposed to be a good one, building systems and culture and stuff. But
Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, that's a good one. But building off what you said about building a story brand, like especially for the solopreneurs or the first people starting off, your identity is your business. And people will recognize that, and then so we have people going beyond the norms of just, oh, I'm here, whatever. We get people throwing up our logos, people wearing our shirts out and shouting us out, people having success stories, they're shouting us out. And it's not a lot. Sometimes we see it, we post it up, but a lot of it's just the patients are doing it, or the people are doing it. I have patients, and I have staff members wearing their stuff to big events, so they can just take a picture and throw up the logo and that sort of stuff. It's because I assume they want to. I don't think I have anything in the systems like, I'll pay you extra every time you do that. I do have something. If you spot me at a bar and you're a client and I see you throw up the trifecta, then I will buy you drinks. That is a established rule amongst the college kids. I shouldn't just include just the college kids. It should be everybody, but it's usually in conversation.
College kids need help buying drinks.
Huh?
They really. I said college kids need help buying drinks.
Exactly.
I said they really don't, because we find money for alcohol as college kids.
Somehow.
We will not eat or
$15 copay. There's gonna be some challenge, but
we'll figure it out. We find it.
$10 trash can at the local bar, no problem. So, but yeah, I think that's the real beauty of it. And then you can it gets you more excited to do more, to increase that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's a nice positive feedback loop there.
Cool. I think hopefully that was beneficial for some people who maybe are struggling to do it, are afraid to do it. Maybe if you work for somebody else, and your job is to kind of help establish that culture. Part of it takes time.
Yep.
But you gotta water where you're at, so
Yeah,
you gotta put some time into it and go from there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies, like, maybe one or two people hang out, becomes cliquey and stuff. Which I guess as you get bigger, it may be harder because people are just going to naturally gravitate. But maybe that's the benefit and luxury of kind of being small or being in a growth period. I think another thing last thing, and we just had a grand opening. Like, including, if you're the owner, if you're director, including your staff, sharing the recognition. There's a saying, like, if something goes wrong, you take the blame. If something goes right, you give out the kudos to the staff.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, I remember we were talking about doing the ribbon cutting, and a couple of my staff members were like, "Oh yeah, well, we'll get somebody to hold it for you, and you'll cut it." I was like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "No, like, everyone's going to be up there with me. Like, everyone did this. Like, I want to share this moment with everybody." And we, like, I didn't even think twice about it. Like, I wanted to share that moment with my staff, and even the interns that were there. It wasn't like, and I had interns that were present and past interns that came through, and it's like, "No, get in the picture, man. Like, you're a part of this clinic." Kind of deal. Like, if you've been here, you're now a part of the family.
Yep.
It's on you if you want to continue the relationship once you leave here. But if you've been here, you're part of the family, and you've been accepted, and we want to include you. If you decide not to stay in touch afterwards, that's on you. But
that's true. I couldn't agree more.
Unfortunately, you couldn't make it. Obviously, a 2-hour drive for a 2-hour event's not the business. But I'm sure you saw some pictures. I mean, we had old students, new students, resident fellows that were there that were like, I just wanted to include everybody on a moment of that magnitude. It's no who wants to be up there alone. Great, you're doing all this stuff. That's not cool. That's not fun.
So it takes a village to start a business, grow a business, and all that sort of stuff. And that's exactly what we did with our one ribbon cutting. Was there's only a couple of us at the time, but I was just like,
you can, but
yes, you can, Alyssa. It was that's all it was. And originally it was just like they stood. I was just like, no, this is it. This is it. Every year I write a little thing of saying thanks to everybody on the anniversary and that sort of stuff. And I'm happy to say it gets longer and longer.
That's a good thing.
Tougher and tougher to write, because I usually like start it super early because I'm like, shit, it's the anniversary, it's time to type. But I'm more than happy to do it, because again, it's not just me anymore. And you grow that culture and that team. It's they're the ones that are gonna ultimately be responsible for the growth. I can go away and I can go teach more, I can do all these sort of things, and it's still growing because of them. So
it's funny because I talked in the beginning. I love to show off with commending you and my idolization to how you run that. And we talked about your 4-year anniversary, and it was funny, Monday, which you wrote that post at like 9, or you posted the post at like 9:38 on Sunday. I was asleep after the course. I was tired.
I had to get it out.
I was like, how's the dude still up? 1, 2, Saturday morning, we go to lift, and Marty and I are there in the morning, and we're like, oh, did you see Jeremy's post, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I'm awful with that. This dude writes fucking novels saying thank you. And Marta makes fun of me, my social awkwardness. And she's like, yeah, you just write thank you. I was like, yeah, no, I'm just like
Short and sweet, baby.
bad at like communicating and showing emotions or whatever. And she's like, she laughs. She's like, she's the same way. And I'm like, Jeremy over here writing novels, just thinking every single person he can think of, which is, why I idolize what you do. You're so present, and I'm just like, thank you, but don't take that time out. So I think that's where you have that nice human element and touch there, which clearly people see and resonate with, because what you've been able to do in the short amount of time is really a testament and proves what you're doing is right.
Led by good mentors, great mentors. So that was just something that started, and now I can't stop.
I remember I would run posts like that, and I was like, oh God, this took so
I did like, and
I was like,
remember, this week it was just like, we just lit a gym and they started the second office last week, and I was like, all right. And then we had the weekend course, and I was just like, I have to get this out. It's something I've been doing. It's something I like, as I write it, it makes me happy to do it. Right beforehand, I hate my guts. I'm like, man, this takes fucking forever, and you've got plenty of other things to do. You got another office, but as I'm writing it, it's just like, just to see how it's growing, to like think about all your people that have helped you and write something about them. It makes me happy. So, but it was like, I was definitely a day or 2 days late. I was like, all right,
I think Saturday was your actual date.
4, and then Sunday. Yeah. It's like, all right, like, it was rough. Like, my wife hasn't seen me essentially all week, and I'm like, listen, I have to do this. So literally just sat at the couch and just started banging it out. But it's it's especially as your business and team's growing, if you don't give those thanks for all the little things they do, people are gonna find other places to go. So I appreciate everything that they've done, and appreciate all the things that my mentors have given me to lead me to this point. I feel like we're all products of our environments.
Likewise. Yeah.
Blend of everybody, and another thing to top that off, you're a product of the 5 closest people around you. So top into 2 good growth quotes there. But so I think everyone should strive to be in an environment that allows them to be themselves, allows them to grow, and there's appreciation for that sort of stuff. So if you're not, do it. If in your clinic, and if you get backlash for it, then find a new place or start your own place.
So good stuff.
All right. Awesome chat there. Let's be some closing stuff at the end there, but thanks for listening in, and cheers to all you guys having a great work culture.
All right, guys, cheers.